Choose two of the photos, compare them, say why these people might be talking to each other, and how they might be feeling.
Should I start?
Beep!
Okay. So, if we look at all these pictures, so we can see that they are almost the same because these people are talking about something. And um, if we look in the first picture, we can see a trainer or a coach talking to the school players to maybe some rules or giving some motivation. While in the second picture, we can see two elderly people talking about their life and remembering some moments, precious moments of their life, maybe war or maybe something how they met. Uh, if we look in picture number three, they might be talking about uh, some diseases or problems with the health of this woman. She's very upset, while in the second picture, people are very excited. And in the first picture, yeah,
Pew,
that's all.
pew, pew. Okay, how was that?
Um, it was well, I like it, but sometimes it drives me crazy when you are pressed for time. But as I'm a teacher, I always practice with my students speaking for 1 or 2 minutes, and sometimes I challenge myself at home to do the same, just for practice, because I live in Russia and it's difficult for me to find a interlocutor like this. But it's interesting, really.
I mean, how did you do in that 1 minute?
Yeah, and I guess um, I tried to contrast because I used while and so on, and I used in the first. So I compared all the pictures, I think.
Is it correct to compare all the pictures?
Yeah, it's not correct because I should compare only two pictures.
Right.
And I mentioned how they feel, but I don't think I used advanced vocabulary for this.
I mean, some of the things you said were quite advanced, but basically anything you say about picture three is, it's like zero. It's nothing. It's not the task. You said why they might be talking to each other. You said, well, for example, the third picture, you said she is very upset. Now, you can say things like that, but the task is why, like, how might they be feeling? So it's slightly better to say she might be feeling very upset because she just got some bad news. Like so it's more like speculation about what just happened, what is happening, what might happen next as well. Yeah. So like yeah, she might be feeling a little bit shocked at the news, but maybe the next thing will be to feel more optimistic about like what's going to happen next because there is a medicine available, blah 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 blah. Yeah, because I looked down at the timer after you said the first thing and there were only 20 seconds left. It was quite surprising. I didn't feel like you were talking very slowly, but actually you didn't say too much in that first 40 seconds.
Yeah, I see. So, yeah, well, look, so I have 1 minute, yeah? So, to compare only two pictures. And, well, in this 1 minute, how, for example, can you divide this 1 minute?
30 seconds, why might these people be talking to each other? 30 seconds, how might they be feeling?
And should I, for example, speculate about one picture, for example, answering two questions on both pictures?
ABC, always be comparing, right? So everything you say is a comparison. You don't need to introduce the pictures, which ones you're talking about. Just dive straight in. Straight in. In the first picture, he's a trainer talking to his young children, whereas in the second picture, everybody's old, but there's only two of them. I didn't think about it much myself, but all right. Do you want to try again?
Well, but first of all, can I ask one more question? About language. So, when, for example, we compare what are the most useful phrases, for example, while various, in contrast, on the one, on the other hand, some more?
Both. Because not everything has to be different, things can also be the same. That's also comparing. Both pictures show. For example, if I compare picture 1 and 3, both pictures show men talking. In the first case, it's a man talking to some young boys, whereas in the second picture, he's talking to a middle-aged woman. But both pictures show the same thing,
Oh, yeah.
right? So it's not only opposites.
And one more question, I think the last. When I compare two pictures, yeah, and I choose these two pictures out of three, should I choose these pictures according to any aspect?
No, it's
Up to me.
yeah, they are chosen because whichever two you pick, it should be possible to say a lot about those.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's try.
Okay. Beep.
Um, well, if we look at picture in the picture number one and in the picture three, we can see a man talking to different people. In the first picture, or we can see a man talking to young boys, footballers. Whereas in the second picture, we can see a man. He's a doctor talking to a middle-aged woman. She's really shocked with some news because she has some problems and she might be feeling very upset. While in the first picture, the man, he's a coach and he's trying to motivate his students or footballers to win. And they might be feeling very excited and very, very energetic. They are ready to win a game. If we look in these both pictures, we can see that they are similar in that the men are talking to the people, to different people, and they're giving an advice to them.
Some advice.
Some advice, yeah.
And you can't look in the picture, you look at the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, was that better?
I guess it was better, according to like not the language, yeah, not the vocabulary, but the what's the English for that? The meaning. I can't say.
You completed the task a little bit better.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. So, again, the beginning and the end were not good. The middle was fine, everything you said in the middle, but the beginning, the first 10 seconds, you didn't really say anything. You have to just dive in and start talking about it. And you don't need to tell us which photos, because as soon as you start talking, we're going to know, right? There are no football players in the middle picture, so it's clear, right? So you say, start, this is the first 10 seconds now. Picture 1 shows a sports team. No. I don't need to say picture 1, right? The first picture. It's a long time since I practiced this. All right, here we go. The first picture shows a man talking to his sports team, whereas the next picture shows a doctor talking to his patient. That's my first 5 seconds, and I've already said something. I've already compared, and I've already established which pictures we're talking about without saying that.
Yeah, I got it.
Right? So then you don't waste the beginning. Then say everything that you said, but then you ran out in the last 10 seconds. You didn't really say anything at the end. It seemed like you didn't know what to say anymore.
Yeah.
Right. That's okay. That's okay. But you can get that by practicing it. Because actually, if I gave you 10 minutes and said, write down a list of things that are the same and different, you could fill 2 pages of things, right? Yeah, and for example, you talked about how the football players are feeling, but I don't think you talked about how the coach is feeling or how the doctor is feeling.
Yeah, I agree. I just told about the people around these men.
Which is actually normal, I think most students do the same thing. My point is, there's more to talk about than you think. And you go, oh, of course I can talk about the doctor. He's in the story. How does he feel? Well, he feels sad that the sexy patient is going to die soon and he'll never see her again.
Oh my gosh.
And the coach is feeling, he might be feeling pessimistic, even though he has to look confident in front of the players. He knows that they suck at football.
Yeah.
These are the worst players he's ever coached.
I got the idea. So I need just more practice and practice.
Yeah. This is one part of the exam where you really can practice, and you can practice alone. I mean, first of all, get the routine, talking for 1 minute, a good introduction, both picture show, whereas, while. I mean, you've got the basics, but if you practice it a little bit, then you get to the point where you could. I mean, I can feel that I didn't do this for a couple of months because I've lost it. If I do, when it's exam season in my classes, I do this twice a week, and I'm really good at it myself. And it's just like zack, 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 and it comes out. And then you can focus on the vocabulary. Then, yeah. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say that that was the problem, to start and to finish, but I can't really understand how to finish. So what should I say in the end?
No, it's not like in the CAE, in the business exams, you have to do a presentation structured with an introduction and a conclusion. This isn't like that. This is you talk until they make you stop.
Yeah, great.
So you just keep going. You don't have to say, so in conclusion, there are 7 things that are the same. It's not a business presentation. You are just comparing the picture.
Yeah. For example, I understand the problem. My problem is how to start. Yeah, I understand. And to speak to the point. It is better.
Yeah. Okay, so do you think you get it? You understand it all a little bit more now?
I think much more. For me, much more. Yeah.